So, okay. I'm going to start this segment by saying I am not an expert by any means. I am not a lawyer. I am not a professional of any kind. But I know a little bit about how our government works. A little bit. So, and I'm sure that you can probably find a better source of information on the following story. But I'm going to try to break this down from what I know. And I am open to additional information and details if people want to provide it. But I've got a Twitter thread on twitter.com from a one Mark Joseph Stern that is pretty decent at trying to break this down. And so, real quick, the Fifth Circuit, I believe, court has issued a decree of some kind, a ruling of some kind, that appears to basically strip the Securities and Exchange Commission of all of their, all of their power, essentially, has been stripped by this decision, by this ruling of some kind. And so I'm going to read this thread from Mark Joseph Stern that kind of lays out exactly what's going on here. The Fifth Circuit just dismantled the SEC's power to enforce securities law. This decision is beyond radical. It is nihilistic. So, for those of you that don't know, Congress, the administrative state, right, like the EPA, FDA, SEC, and so forth, functions based on the concept of the non-delegation principle. Now, again, I am not an expert by any means, but basically, Congress passed legislation that defers judgment on things to these agencies. So, for example, Congress would pass a law that says we want clean water. What the fuck does that mean? Right? Like, if Dow Chemical says, oh yeah, no, don't worry, PFAS is fine, it's clean water, it's all good. All right, then we have clean water now, according to fucking Dow Chemical, right? So instead of Congress having to draft legislation banning every single certain chemical and adding limitations, right, because people in Congress are not professionals in that field, what they do is they defer that judgment to the administrative state. In this case, this example would be the EPA, would then have a team of people to determine what clean water is and to make a series of standards that make sure that water is drinkable in this country. Now, again, the EPA is a flop. They failed. Almost every zip code in this country has poisoned water because the EPA's guidelines are significantly higher. It's like the CDC's new transmission stuff, right? Like, they'll have like limitations that are like 10 times what an unhealthy intake would be. So if you've got lead in your water, that can still be legal according to the EPA because it's not like super lead. It's not extremely dense, right? So that's, the EPA, the administrative state as it is already a flop. It's already failed tremendously, right? But this decision seemingly is going to strip them of what little power they even have at this point. And so let's move on. Jennifer Walker Elrod's majority opinion approvingly cites Ronald Reagan's 9 most terrifying words in the English language, which is, I'm from the government and I'm here to help. I ask again, what is going on in the Fifth Circuit? Anyway, the implication of this decision is that most, if not all, agency enforcement power is unconstitutional, which in plain English means the federal government cannot enforce a huge swath of regulations. I mean, this is basically striking down the administrative state. Now, again, the Supreme Court could disagree with this. It could disagree with this, but do you really think a majority conservative Supreme Court is going to weigh in on this in any capacity? So again, this also would apply to the FDA, an already horrible institution and agency that does not nearly do enough to actually do its job. It's underfunded. The people that work there are really bad, typically, at managing things. Now, again, I'm not talking about the individual workers at the FDA, but I'm talking about the leadership. It's underfunded and incompetent in a lot of ways. Again, with the baby formula shortage, there was a whistleblower that said, yo, this baby formula is literally poisoned, right? They told the FDA about it. 2 babies died, and then the FDA came in to do something about it. So again, this is no good. This is no good at all. And so again, I am not an expert in law. I'm not a legal person. I'm actually illegal, technically. So I'm an illegal alien. But again, this is not I don't know, the FDA just going from bad to non-existent, theoretically. Now, again, what this implies, right now, does this immediately strip, like, is everyone working at the SEC fired immediately, right? No. But what happens is they're going to appeal it. It's going to go to the Supreme Court. They're going to probably agree with this, right? And then from that point, people are going to do like one random lawsuit against the FDA, get it up to the courts. They're going to say, yep, the FDA also applies here. Someone's going to do a random lawsuit with the EPA and all these other institutions and agencies, and they're basically going to determine that there's no such thing as the administrative state. It's gone. Bye-bye. And so we're fucked. So anyway, there's some news there. We are fucked. You can read more into that. If anyone wants to give me more information on this, I would really appreciate that. But to my understanding, we're fucked. Now, again, regulations in this country are already shit. They're already garbage. They're already not nearly enough. But to go backwards as we're entering the climate crisis, right? As water quality is getting fucked in the face, as food is getting poisoned, baby formula is getting poisoned on purpose to save money. Not good, folks. So that I can tell you, this is very bad. And so again, I will try to follow this one to the best of my ability and learn more about it. But I wanted to just provide to y'all a little bit of an update from what I have found to break it down in a way that I think is more understandable for people.